Okay, so now that you know how to install PyCharm, you've even set up an environment variable in order to lead you to the path where Python was installed. Oh yeah, and I can't forget, you already have installed Python, so now you can use it. You can enter the raw power of Python by printing the words "Hello World" to the command console. Yeah, that's right. We're getting ready to write some Python. I'll see you in the video. Okay, so here we are live again. You've already learned everything you need to know in order to get you to this point. Now we're ready to dive on into the code, the grit, get our hands dirty a little bit. And why does that happen sometimes? The background just decides it doesn't want to work anymore. There we go. Background's fixed. I don't know what it is every so often. Maybe it's a memory problem, but let's get back to it. We're about to write some code. And I have the need to start it off like this. The code we are going to write is historically known as Hello World. Reason being, the first words typed on a computer. So, hello world, and hello to Earth. By the way, not my video. I did not take this myself. It was filmed from the ISS by NASA. So all rights belong to NASA for this clip. But I believe that falls under fair use. So we're good. Okay, so like I was saying, let's get back into it. Let's get into the code. So here's our presentation. Just gonna close out that video. Okay, so this is an introduction to the Python language. Now, as I promised in the last video, I would show you how to create. Yes, create a project. So here's the introduction, an overview of the IDE, Integrated Development Environment. I'm pretty sure I said that in the last video. Starting a new project, commenting, hello world. Hey, we're even gonna get dangerous and declare a variable. And in fact, you don't need to declare variables in Python. It's a step up from C++. Although I do have a love, an affinity for C++. That's for another day. Hello world, first variable, and then conclusion. Yeah. That's pretty much it. So, let's get to it. So, as I already explained, IDE, Integrated Development Environment. I probably misspoke earlier. I'm pretty sure I did. It's just an application to help you write code, troubleshoot it, compile it if required. Some of the features include, well, look at that. Compiling, debugging, standard libraries, and intelligent code completion. So it's got like an auto-suggest feature. You know, whenever you're text messaging and it auto-corrects, even suggests words. Same thing in MS Word and all those other things. If you haven't already, download PyCharm. If you need help installing it, there is a video that's already been uploaded. Oh yeah, don't forget to join the Discord. It's right there. Invitation code. Permanent. Never leaves. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is open up PyCharm. So if you haven't already, open it up. In fact, I'll even open it myself again. Bam! PyCharm is now open. Now the next thing you're going to do is press File. I will demonstrate pressing File. Oh, would you look at that? New project. So that's what we're going to do. New project. I am going to save this one as Twitch 0001 because I have actually already written the code and I want to do it with you guys. So we're going to open it in current window. Let's just make sure I'm not getting too far ahead of the presentation. So yeah. New project. Name it something. Click the dots to choose a location. I already had a default location. I didn't want to change that. I don't like losing where I put all my files. There we go. And then you click create. Might ask you this. It asked me that. I said open in current window. If you're having multiple windows open, just do that. Here we go. Now we're going to create a new file within that project. So I'm going to go to doing work. So we got our little Twitch thing here. Right click on it. New file. We're going Python file. See that? I'm going to name it main because I like naming the first file main just so I remember it's the main one I'm using. So there we go. Main. And she's opening on screen. Whoops. Don't want to get ahead of the presentation. So we got that. Select new file. It is found under the project. It is on the left-hand pane. Commenting. So what is commenting? Commenting is code that's ignored by the interpreter or compiler. And what that code allows you to do is name the file. Let people know what specific code means. So when you're working in group projects or just very, very large projects, this is important. I cannot stress it. I have worked with people who just don't comment, and I'm like, what is he trying to do here? What does he mean? Did he do this for a reason? Because it makes no sense. But then you get on a Skype call with them, Facebook call, any sort of call. You contact them and you're like, yo man, what were you doing here? And they're like, oh, it's easy. It does this. And I'm like, well, couldn't have you just commented that? So yeah, I cannot stress it enough. Comment. And trust me, when I was 13 years old, I did not think commenting was important because I was like, I know it all. I know all this. I know what it all means. Why not just read it? And now I'm not that young. And yeah, I comment. No comment. Okay, so we're still on there. Sorry, I beat that one pretty hard, but I had to. So we're going to comment using the hashtag. So the hashtag just tells the interpreter or compiler, hey man, what comes next? Not important, just ignore it. It's for me. So that's what we're going to be doing. So here we go. Here's an example of commenting. It's basically what I'm going to do. Some important things to note, project name. So whatever you're naming the project, company, if you're working for somebody or it's your own company, you're freelanced. The start date of the project, just really good to know so you know how much time you're spending on it. The version date. So every time you write a substantial amount of code and you want to be like, hey, that's version 2 or that's version 3. Just set a version date for that version. Purpose of the code, it's nice to have, your mission statement. This dating app will revolutionize dating by... You can do stuff like that. Devlog, kind of important. Like, let's say I finish off coding for the night. I just done 20 hours of binge coding. And I need to know where I left off, the changes I made, so that I'm not repeating it. You can also do it on a notepad. I like doing, like, the Cole's Note version in my comments, as well as a more detailed checklist that I have on my notepad sitting on my desk. There's a notepad right in front of me right now. I always have one there. So I'm going to just demonstrate the commenting now. So go back to this one. Okay, here we go. Just opening it up with a hashtag. All my face is in the way, but as you can see, line numbers are there. So we're going to go to 64 just because it's a nice number. This is just going to be a more relaxed commenting. Nothing too in-depth because, well, we don't really need it. Our commenting is the PowerPoint presentation. So, project name, because. The one and only. And today is the 24th, 08, 2018. See? It's going to be uploaded probably on the same day. We're going to add something a little nice here. Call it page name. So just the specific file name. And there you go. That's all you need. That's commenting. Let's go back to the presentation, make sure I didn't forget anything that I wanted to pass on, some of that knowledge. Yeah, so just basically what I said earlier. More of what I said. Okay, now we're diving on in to Hello World. Yes, Hello World. So the first program we're going to write called Hello World. Very, very simple. We're just going to call the function. Some we're going to get into later. Functions, pretty cool stuff. The function Hello World. Now, no, correction. The function print Hello World. So what we got here is print is the name of the function. Now we're passing the variable, which is a string of text in this case, Hello World. And you'll see that more in the future whenever you create functions. You're going to want to pass data and return data. So what that will do is it's going to take the string of text, Hello World, and it's going to display it in the console. You're going to have to do other fancy stuff. Again, future problem, not right now. All we got to do is write the word print, bracket, quotation mark, and just a note, it could be single or double quotes in Python. It doesn't really matter. Just keep it standard. If you're using double quotes, always use double quotes. If you're using single quotes, always use single quotes. Okay, so we're going to do this right now. And there you go. So next thing we're going to do is go over to the presentation. Make sure I'm not jumping ahead. As you guys have probably noticed, I have trouble keeping pace. Here we go, just a quick explanation. And you see, I even commented in the PowerPoint. I like that. Oh, jumping ahead. So there we go. Doing work, I'm going to display the result now. Ah. There we go. So, press F5. Correction. Control Shift F10. And there you go. Or you can right click on main.py and click run. Sorry, it's a little bit different than the version I had installed before. So you can see, displays a text, Hello World. Let's do it again. Do it again. Every time we do it, no problems. Code's perfect. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be jumping into is... So we're going to be jumping into variables. All a variable is a place that we can store information. So numbers, just think back to whenever you were in basic algebra. That was a long time ago. And you had these letters that were in equations and you're just like, I thought we were doing math. It's dealing with numbers. No, those letters are placeholders. They mean different things based on the time. So, like, look at it this way. Whenever you had Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Right? Those are all variables. Later on, you're going to pump them full of numbers and you're going to get results. So that's basically what we're doing here. we're setting variables to a specific value. And then we're like, cool. Now we're going to use those variables. And we're going to use them in multiple places. It's just more efficient, right? You want to put data into the program like a cursor click. We all do that. We click things. Well, that's an X and Y axis. That's an X and Y variable. The computer reads that and is like, hey, he clicked here. Huh, should we do something? No. There was nothing there, actually. So that's what we're doing here. Same thing. So let's jump on into the presentation portion, which you guys already saw. So if you have photographic memories, there you go. So first variable, basically what I just said. And before I forget, also constants like pi. Right? Constants. And some interpreters already know what those constants are. In this case, we'll set them if required. So here's the example of code. Same thing, we're going to set a variable called message to hello class or hello world, whatever you want to put there. You can even put it hello Dave. So here's our example. So something you'll notice here is that we're moving the quotations. That's because we're passing a variable to a variable inside a function. So you want to pass a variable, not the word message. So what's inside it. And when we go to run that, I'm going to save first. You know, it's always good to save. Let's go to result. Here we go. Run the code. Oh, it worked. On our first try, no syntax errors. Hello, Dave. Did you see Hello World? And that's it for that. So let's go back to the presentation, make sure I didn't miss anything. There we go, we have the conclusion. So, in this lesson you covered starting a new project, commenting, printing text, and using a variable. Just a little taste of what's to come next. In the next video, we're going to cover more about variables you can and cannot use, and operators. So like 1 + 1, and so on. So let's just go into the credits, because I do use somebody else's music.